New comic book day is almost here, and it's time to take a look at the solicitations so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks since my last What I'm Getting video, but I'm finally back. As you can see, we are in the brand new comic room. It is not quite ready to be shown off just yet, but please believe I documented the entire process of putting this room together. You guys are going to start to get a sneak peeks very soon. Follow me on Instagram. Some people on Instagram have already seen parts of what this room looked like. But anyway, all that's over with. I want to talk about the books I'm getting this week. It's a very stacked new comic book day. And I love doing this. I do it every single week. So before we get into the week's books, I do want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor. This video is being sponsored by Mainstream Comics. Yes, the best mystery box company on the planet. The galaxy, universe, I don't know. But Mainstream Comics is dope. They're the only mystery box with a theme. You guys may have seen my videos every single week running down items that might be in that week's mystery boxes. So what's really, really cool is that Mystery Dave decided to do something very special just for my audience. So guaranteed Lucky Duckies. Yes, you can get a guaranteed Lucky Ducky with your June Mainstream Mystery Box purchase. All you got to do is use the code BJKicksLD. LD stands for Lucky Ducky, of course. So yeah, use that coupon code. Mystery Dave will get you a guaranteed Lucky Ducky in your mystery box, which just means yours will be a little bit more special than everyone else's. So that's super dope. So major shout outs to Mainstream Comics, and thank you so much to Mystery Dave for making that happen. Now, it's time to look at this week's books. I gotta move over, so make sure I have enough room to show them off beside me. Now, I always like to start with the book that I am most excited for, and for this new comic book day, June 16th, you already know. I'm most excited for Static Season 1, Issue number 1. Yes, the return of Static. Some may know him as Static Shock, but our hero, Static, the return of the Dakota Verse, Milestone Media is back. Officially. We had the Milestone Returns one-shot to kind of set up the universe, but now Static is going to give us our first real glimpse into what it's like in Dakota since the events of the Big Bang. Now, I'm really excited about this series because Vita Ayala is writing it, Chris Cross is doing the layouts, and Nick Draper-Ivey, the finished artwork is so amazing, so awesome. But yeah, this series is going to be exploring how Virgil became Static and how he felt getting his powers. Because in the past, you typically see Static in action. You get some flashbacks to different events, but he's already Static. He's already well established, and he's already like the cool dude. So this series is going to explore a little bit before then. We're going to see how he got to that point. So that's really exciting. I can't explain how hype I am about this series. Now, while I've been talking, I went ahead and cycled through all the different covers. There are 5 different covers for this book. Of course, I'm going to grab all of them, but that cover A, excuse me, that cover A by Kari Randolph is super dope. But there's also covers by Dennis Cowan, covers by Sean Martinborough, and of course, Nick Draper-Ivey, and Olivier Coipel. Is it Oliver? Olivier? I don't know how you say it, but his artwork is amazing. He does that team variant, the foil variant. So if your shop ordered at least 200 copies of Static Season 1, they might have some of those team variants available for you as well. You can't really go wrong, especially if you buy them all. So buy them all. That's got a cover price of $3.99. So good luck. And since Milestone is part of the DC Comics family, we will go ahead and kick off the pull list with DC Comics. So first up is Batman Fortnite 0 Point, issue number 5. You guys already know. I've told you several times I'm picking up this series just so that my little brother can get the Fortnite codes. I'm not reading the story. I don't particularly care about Batman in the Battle Royale, but it seems like a very well executed concept, and people are really flocking out there to get those issues for those codes. Keep in mind, if you missed out on any of the issues, if you buy the hardcover, you're going to get all those codes as well. And that'll be coming out in just a couple of months. So don't feel like you got to run and pay eBay prices for these issues just to get the codes, unless you're like one of those I need it right now type of people. Anyway, that's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm just getting the cover A. Next up from DC Comics is Flash issue 771. Now, if you guys are looking, if you're reading this Flash series, I'm actually really enjoying it. This is my first time reading Wally West, and I know a lot of people were upset by how he was done by DC editorial during the whole Rebirth era and Heroes in Crisis and everything like that. If you look at this cover, there is a nod to Heroes in Crisis, and I can only imagine one reason why they would do that. So I think this is going to be the redemptive story that people are going to want. So if you're not picking up Flash because you didn't like how Wally West was portrayed in the past, this is probably a good series for you to go ahead and jump in on. But that's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm just getting the cover A. Next up from DC Comics is Justice League issue number 63, written by Brian Michael Bendis. I think I'm one issue behind, but I've really been enjoying it so far. I mean, it's a very fun series. It's the Justice League, but it's like Bendisized. Bendisized. That's a funny word. But anyway, I've been enjoying it so far. But that's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is Legends of the Dark Knight number 2, because it wouldn't be right if you didn't have a Batman book on the list. Now, to be completely honest with you, I read Legends of the Dark Knight issue number 1 by Derek Robertson. I was not super excited about it. Like when it comes to, I mean, there's a million Batman titles out right now, and this one is unfortunately kind of at the bottom of those. It's not a bad series, it's just not a particularly great series. But I've heard that it really gets better when the new creative team joins as of issue 4. And I'm not going to have any gaps in my collection. So I'm picking up issue number 2. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And lastly, from DC Comics, certainly not least, this is my favorite title from the big two right now. This is Nightwing issue 81. Now, Nightwing has been really, really good. Tom Taylor is really nailing the character and giving us some really great, wholesome moments. But we're finally getting a glimpse into the dark side of Bloodhaven. We're going to meet a brand new villain this issue. His name is Heartless. This is going to be his first appearance and first cover appearance. If you're a speculator, not to spoil anything, but there's also a major revelation about a particular character in this book. So it's going to have a lot of collectible value, but honestly, Tom Taylor's Nightwing deserves to be read. It is one of the best books on shelves right now. I really, really love Nightwing. But anyway, issue number 81 is out this week. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And that's going to do it for my DC Comics pull list. So if I just stick to the list and get one cover of each book, then that means my total is just going to be $26 for DC Comics. Not bad, except I'm definitely buying every static book there is. So, hey. Anyway, let's move on to Marvel Comics, shall we? So first up from Marvel this week is going to be Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 27. I love this cover A, by the way, but we're still knee deep into the Clone Saga. I think there's this issue and then one more before we wrap up that story arc. So we're going to get good Miles versus evil Miles, or Salim, you know. So that's going to be interesting. Honestly, I've been enjoying the way it's playing out so far. And considering I picked up Miles Morales with the Clone Saga, I haven't been disappointed at all. That's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And then next up is Planet-Sized X-Men number 1. This is a one-shot that's going to set up quite a few things for the future of the X-Men universe, all the X-Men titles in the middle of the Hellfire Gala. So this is definitely going to be something you want to jump on if you're reading any of the Hickman era X-Men. Now, the cover A is really dope, and that's probably the only one I'm going to get, but I shouldn't say probably, because there's also a variant by Ron Lim featuring the X-Men in their 90s costumes. I love that. But anyway, I got to try to just get one cover. It's got a cover price of $4.99, and then so far I'm just going to get the cover A. Next up from Marvel Comics is Venom issue 200. Now, this is probably one of the biggest issues of the week, if not the month. This is the final issue of the Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman Venom run. And we're going to see, how the whole story wraps up. We've had Absolute Carnage. We've had King in Black. How is this saga going to end? We already got new creative teams announced. So Al Ewing is going to be writing Venom after this. And I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. It's Al Ewing. I think Brian Hitch is going to be doing the artwork, which is also very interesting. We'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, we're going to see how this final issue wraps up. Now, this is the 200th issue if we're doing legacy numbering, but it's the 35th issue of the Donny Cates run. This one's got like 35 covers as well, so I'm cycling through some of them, but honestly I don't know which ones are retailer exclusive, which ones aren't, so I'll probably just keep the cover A on the screen. But it's got a cover price of $9.99. Why does Marvel do these things? They know I'm not going to just leave that one issue off, but freaking double the price? Anyway, hopefully it's a double-sized issue at least. But that's the one. I'm going to get the cover A. And lastly, from Marvel Comics, it's X-Corp number 2. Still, basically, this was a Hellfire Gala tie-in as well, but we're learning about the inner workings of the Charles Xavier Corporation. And I haven't read issue 1 yet. I don't know. I moved my collection. I don't know where stuff is, but I'll read it. I'll put a little mini review in the community section. So if you're not following, or if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're not going to see those community posts in your feed. So you should definitely hit that subscribe button. But that's got a cover price of $3.99. That's going to do it for my Marvel Comics pull list. So if I just stick to the list, my Marvel books are going to cost me $23 this Wednesday. Not bad at all. It's not a bad day. So let's move on to the creator-owned and other publishers. So from Boom Studios this week, we got Berserker number 3, obviously written by Matt Kent with Keanu Reeves. It's been an interesting series so far. I kind of dismissed Berserker as like Wolverine without the claws, but issue 2 definitely proved me wrong. So in issue 3, we're going to get a little bit more of Berserker's backstory, and I'm always down for backstory. Flesh out the character so I know why he's different from all these other characters out there and what you guys are bringing that's new to the comic book. Whoops. What you guys are bringing to the comic book game that's new. So Berserker number 3 has got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And from Image Comics, we got a couple from Image Comics this week. The first up is Home number 3. Home is written by Julio Anta, and it's really dope. We've got this kid who basically has developed superpowers while he is being separated from his mother at the border, and he's being taught how to use these powers. It's going to be a really interesting issue. I really love the series. Like, it's very on the nose politically, but there's enough other stuff going on where I think anyone can enjoy this, regardless of your political leanings. Maybe not regardless, depending on how diehard of a political fan you are on either side. This might hit too close to home. You might get upset. I don't know. I just read books, man. So that's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is Radiant Black number 5. Radiant Black is one of the very few Image titles that are actually like superhero based. In the last issue, we got a ridiculous moment. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but maybe Radiant Black is a mantle and not a person. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to see basically kind of the fallout from that event last week or last issue. And also we're seeing some new things, how this universe is working. So I'm excited about that. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And lastly, Lastly, from Boom Studios, this is Seven Secrets #9. Seven Secrets written by Tom Taylor, who for my money is the best writer in comics right now. So Tom Taylor doing what he does best on his own creator-owned title. You already know it's just awesome. I'm like 2 issues behind on this book. I can't wait to finish unpacking so I can catch up on my comic book reading. And Seven Secrets, it's absolutely at the top of that pile. I love Tom Taylor's writing. This artwork is really good too. There's really not much that you can't love about this book. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. So that's going to do it for my indie and creator-owned pull list. So if I just stick to that list and just get those covers, we're looking at a grand total of $16 for the creator-owned and indie books, which brings my total for the week between all publishers to a not so bad $65. You guys know I try to stick to 50 and under. This one's going to be a bigger week because of all the static covers, but I'm not bad with it. I'm not mad at a baseline of $65 during a stacked comic book week, especially when Venom is a $10 book by itself. So, not too far off. I didn't add too many titles. Marvel just added the prices. But anyway, that's what's on my pull list. I would love to know in the comments below what's on your pull list. What books that I mentioned that that are standing out to you? Which cover are you getting for Venom 200? I gotta know all that, so let me know in the comments below. If you want to talk comics with us all the time, then you need to join my private Facebook community. It's called the K Squad, where we get to be a part of some really, really dope initiatives. We got the book club. We're working on our very own comic book right now. And there's a lot of really cool things happening inside the K Squad. And if you want to be a part, all you got to do is hit the link in the description below. And while you're looking at the description, check out our channel partners and find some great deals on comic book mystery boxes, collected editions, and even geeky items at Zavvi. So very, very cool stuff going on. I hope you saw something you liked in this video. And if not, hey, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Make sure you read what you buy. And be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.